Stop scrolling. I need to tell you something. And I don't mean that the way everyone else on the internet says it. I mean it with every breath in me. Something is about to shift in your life, and it's already started. You clicked on this video for a reason you can't fully explain. Maybe you were looking for comfort, maybe you were looking for a sign, or maybe, and be honest with yourself, you weren't looking for anything at all, and something pulled you here anyway. I know why. Because lately, you've been carrying something heavy, something you haven't told anyone about. You wake up tired, you go through the motions. You smile when you're supposed to, you nod when people talk, but inside, there's this quiet ache that won't go away. You've prayed about it. Maybe you've begged God for an answer, and the silence, it's been deafening. Here's what I need you to hear right now. God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't stepped away. And what you're feeling right now, that heaviness in your chest, it's not the end of your story. It's the exact moment before everything changes. But what He wants to say to you today, you're not going to believe it. Stay with me, because this message was meant to find you, exactly you. Let me tell you what God has been trying to say to you, not just today, but for weeks now, maybe months. I'm with you, 3 words. And I know what you're thinking. You've heard that before. You've read it on a greeting card. Someone said it at a funeral. It sounds like the kind of thing people say when they don't know what else to say. But that's not how God means it. When God says, I'm with you, He's not standing beside you like a polite guest who showed up to keep you company. He's not hovering nearby in case you need something. He is inside the breath you're taking right now. He is woven into the beating of your heart at this very second. The fact that you're alive, listening to this, with air filling your lungs, that's not biology doing its job. That's God choosing to keep you here, choosing you again, today. And I know some of you are shaking your heads right now. You're thinking, if He's with me, then why does it feel like I'm drowning alone? Let me be honest with you. I'm not going to give you a cheap answer to that question, because you deserve better than a platitude. You've been through too much for someone to just pat you on the back and say, have faith. So let me tell you something I discovered, and it changed everything for me. There's a kind of silence that happens right before God moves. And most people mistake that silence for abandonment. They think, He's not answering, so He must not be there. But what if, and stay with me here, what if that silence is actually the most dangerous, most holy moment of your entire life? Think about it. When you were younger, maybe in your 30s, maybe in your 40s, you used to feel God everywhere. A sunset would move you to tears. A song on the radio would feel like it was written for you. You'd pray, and something would shift. You could almost hear Him. But then life happened. The losses stacked up. People you loved didn't make it. Dreams you chased collapsed in your hands. And slowly, without you even noticing, that feeling of connection started to fade. Not because God left, but because pain built a wall so thick, so high, that you couldn't feel Him anymore. And here's the part nobody tells you. The wall wasn't built by God. The wall was built by grief. You see, somewhere along the way, you started associating your pain with God's absence, as if the fact that He allowed something hard to happen meant He had walked away. But that's the oldest lie in the enemy's playbook. He wants you to believe that silence equals abandonment, because the moment you believe that, you stop praying, you stop hoping, you stop looking for God. And that's exactly where the enemy wants you, alone, tired, convinced that the Creator of the universe has better things to do than care about what you're going through. But I came here to tell you something that's going to break that lie in half right now. God has been working in the silence. He's been moving in the quiet. And what you thought was him ignoring you was actually him preparing something so specific, so perfectly timed for your life, that if he had answered one day earlier, it wouldn't have been right. You're not being punished. You're being positioned, and that heaviness you've been carrying, that's not the weight of God's anger. That's the weight of something about to be born in your life. And birth is never painless. Ask any mother, the pain doesn't mean something is dying. The pain means something is arriving. I want you to think back to the worst night of your life. You know the one. The night that changed you. The phone call you weren't ready for. The diagnosis. The conversation that ended a marriage. A friendship. A chapter you thought would last forever. The night you sat in the dark and whispered, "God, where are you?" And the silence that followed. I'm not going to pretend that night was easy. I'm not going to tell you it was part of some beautiful plan that you should be grateful for. Not yet. Because you're not ready for that. And God knows it. But here's what I need you to see. Something you couldn't see in the dark. When that night happened, you weren't alone. I know it felt like you were. The silence was so loud it hurt. The emptiness was so complete, you could almost touch it. But there was a presence in that room that you couldn't feel because your grief was screaming too loud. Let me explain something about God that most people misunderstand, even people who've been in church their whole lives. God doesn't leave when it gets dark. God speaks loudest in the dark, but his voice doesn't sound like what you expect. It doesn't come as thunder. It doesn't come as a booming voice from the sky. It comes as something much quieter, much more intimate. It comes as that tiny, almost invisible thought that whispered, "You're going to make it." That wasn't you. That wasn't your imagination. That wasn't some survival instinct kicking in. That was him, speaking directly into your spirit, saying, "I'm with you. You just didn't recognize it." And here's why. Because somewhere along the way, maybe over decades of your life, you started measuring God's presence by your feelings. If you felt peace, he was there. If you felt joy, he was there. But the moment pain showed up, you assumed he'd left. As if God is a fair-weather friend who only shows up when the sun is shining. But that's not who he is. That's not how he operates. You see, the most powerful words in Scripture aren't "I will bless you." They're not "I will heal you." They're not "I will prosper you." The most powerful words God ever spoke to a human being were these: "I will never leave you. I will never forsake you." Do you understand what that means? It means there has never been, not one single moment in your entire life, when God was not present, not in the hospital room, not at the graveside, not in the divorce lawyer's office, not in the car when you were driving home alone, crying so hard you could barely see the road. He was there, every single time. You didn't feel him, because pain has a way of numbing our spiritual senses. Just like when your hand goes numb from cold, the warmth is still there. Your blood is still flowing, but you can't feel it. The nerve endings go quiet. It doesn't mean the heat is gone. It means your body is in survival mode. That's what grief does to your spirit. It numbs you, but God is still there, burning with love for you, closer than your own skin. And I'll tell you something else, something that might shake you in the best way possible. God has been collecting your tears, every single one. You thought they fell to the ground and disappeared. You thought nobody saw you cry in the shower, in the car, in bed at 2 a.m. when the house was quiet and the loneliness was crushing. But Psalm 56 says he stores your tears in a bottle. He counts them. He records every single one, not because he's keeping score, because every tear you've shed is proof that your heart is still alive, still hoping, still reaching for something beyond what this world can give you. And that reaching, that's faith. Even when you thought you'd lost it, there's something I need to tell you about what's been happening to you, and it might be the hardest thing to hear in this entire message. So I need you to lean in. God has been refining you, not punishing you, not testing you the way some people say. Like he's sitting up there with a clipboard, grading your performance. No, refining you. And there's a difference that changes everything. Let me paint a picture for you. When a silversmith refines silver, he puts the raw metal into the hottest part of the fire. The impurities, the stuff that weakens the silver, that makes it brittle, that makes it less than what it was created to be. Those impurities rise to the surface as the heat intensifies, and the silversmith skims them off, again and again. He keeps the fire going until he can see his own reflection in the metal. That's what God has been doing with you over these last few years, maybe the last decade. The heat in your life has been intense. Loss after loss, disappointment after disappointment. Dreams that looked like they were finally within reach, only to slip away one more time. And you've been asking, why? Why does it keep happening? What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're being refined. And here's what refinement looks like in real life. It looks like losing the things you used to lean on, so that you'd finally learn to lean on Him. It looks like relationships falling away that were never meant to carry the weight you put on them. It looks like doors closing, not because God is cruel, but because He saw what was behind those doors. And it would have destroyed you. I know that's hard to accept, because you wanted those doors to open. You prayed for them to open. You fasted. You begged. You made deals with God in the middle of the night, and they stayed shut. But let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this before you answer in your own heart. When was the last time you truly, deeply, without distraction, sat in the presence of God? Not in church, not with a devotional in your hand, not with a checklist of prayer requests. When was the last time you just sat there, in the quiet, with no agenda, no list, just you and Him? If you're honest, it's probably been a while, because life got loud, because responsibilities piled up, because somewhere between your 40s and now, you went from walking with God to managing your life and occasionally asking Him to bless it. And that's not a guilt trip. That's an observation, because I've been there too. Here's the thing about refinement. It strips away everything that isn't essential. And what's essential is this: you were created for relationship with Him, not for success, not for comfort, not for the version of your life you had planned at 25. You were created to know Him, to walk with Him the way Adam walked in the garden, the way Moses talked to Him face to face, the way David poured out his heart in those Psalms that still speak to us thousands of years later. And when you started settling for less, when you started substituting activity for intimacy, busyness for presence, knowledge for relationship, God allowed the fire to come, not to hurt you, to call you back. Every closed door was a redirection. Every loss was an invitation. Every sleepless night was God whispering, I'm still here. I'm still enough. Will you let me be enough? And I know some of you are thinking, that sounds beautiful, but I'm tired. I don't want to learn another lesson. I just want relief. I hear you, and God hears you too. But relief without transformation is just a pause between storms. God doesn't want to just calm the storm in your life. He wants to calm the storm in you, so that when the next one comes, and it will come, you won't crumble, you'll stand. Because here's what refinement ultimately produces: a person who cannot be shaken, not because life stops being hard, but because you've discovered that the one who holds you is unshakable. And when you know that, really know it in your bones, not just in your head, fear loses its grip, anxiety loses its voice, loneliness loses its sting. You see, the enemy didn't attack you because you're weak. He attacked you because you're dangerous. He sees what God is forming in you through the fire. He sees the silver beginning to shine, and he's terrified of what you're about to become. There's something happening in your life right now that you can't see, and I need to tell you about it before we go any further. But first, if you're still here with me at this point in the video, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel and walk with us every single day. And here's why I'm asking. Because I know what it's like to search for something at 2 a.m., to scroll through videos looking for one, just one, that speaks to what you're going through. You're not here by accident. You're here because your spirit is hungry. And that hunger, that's the most beautiful thing about you. So subscribe. Stay close, because God isn't done speaking to you yet. Now, back to what he's been showing me. You've been standing at the edge of something. For months now, maybe longer, you can feel it, that sense that something is about to change. But every time you get close to it, fear pulls you back. Doubt whispers, what if it doesn't happen? What if this is just another disappointment? Let me tell you what's actually happening in the spirit. God has been aligning things behind the scenes of your life in ways you couldn't see even if he showed you. People he's been repositioning, doors he's been preparing, circumstances that looked like setbacks but were actually setups. And the reason you can't see any of it yet is because the final piece hasn't clicked into place. But it's about to, and here's how I know. Because the resistance you've been feeling lately, that pushback, that friction, that sense of everything being harder than it should be, that's not the enemy winning. That's the enemy panicking. He sees what God is about to do in your life, and he's throwing everything he has at you to make you quit right before the breakthrough. This is the pattern all throughout Scripture. Right before every major move of God, there's an intensification of opposition. Right before the Red Sea parted, the Israelites were trapped. Right before Joseph was elevated to second in command of Egypt, he was forgotten in a prison cell. Right before resurrection morning, the darkest Friday in history, the darkest moment is always the doorway, and you've been living in that doorway. That space between the promise and the fulfillment. The space where faith is stretched to its absolute limit, where you've done everything you know to do, and now all that's left is to wait. But here's what God wants you to understand about this waiting season. It's not passive. It's not you sitting around hoping something happens. This kind of waiting is active. It's the kind of waiting a watchman does on the wall. Eyes open, heart engaged, trusting that the dawn is coming even when the night feels endless. You've been waiting. But have you been waiting with expectation? Or have you been waiting with resignation? There's a difference. And that difference is everything. Expectation says, God is going to show up. I don't know when. I don't know how. But he will. Resignation says, I guess this is just how it's going to be. And the scary truth is this. Your expectation determines your experience, because God moves where he's believed for. He pours into vessels that are open. He fills the hands that are reaching. So I'm asking you, right now in this moment, to shift your posture from resignation back to expectation, from survival mode back to faith, from I'll believe it when I see it, to I'll see it because I believe it. And I know that's hard. I know you've been disappointed. I know you've prayed prayers that seem to hit the ceiling and come back down. But what if the answer has been in motion this entire time? What if God has been working silently, strategically, perfectly, and the only thing standing between you and the manifestation is your willingness to believe one more time? One more time. That's all he's asking. Not for a perfect faith, not for a flawless track record. Just one more, yes, one more step forward. One more morning where you open your eyes and say, today could be the day, because it could be. And if not today, then soon, sooner than you think. So here we are. You've stayed with me this long, and that means something, not just to me, but to God. Because the fact that you're still listening, that's not willpower, that's not curiosity. That's your spirit recognizing truth. Something in you knew from the very first second you pressed play that this message was for you, not for the algorithm, not for the million other people who might watch this, for you. And now I need to tie together everything God has been saying through this video, because it all comes down to one thing. I'm with you, not I was with you, not I will be with you, not I'll be with you when you get your life together, not I'll be with you when your faith is strong enough. I am, right now, in this breath, in this moment, with you. Everything we've talked about, the silence, the refinement, the tears he's collected, the doors he's closed, the breakthrough you can't see yet, it all lives inside those three words. He was with you in the fire. He was with you in the waiting. He was with you when you thought he'd left. And he's with you now. As you sit there, maybe with tears in your eyes, maybe with a strange warmth in your chest that you can't explain. That warmth, that's not emotion. That's presence. His, right there with you. And here's the transformation. The quiet one, the real one. You came into this video carrying something heavy. And maybe, just maybe, that weight feels a little lighter now. Not because your circumstances have changed. Not because your problems have vanished. But because you've been reminded of the one truth that changes everything. You are not alone. You never were. And you never will be. The God who spoke galaxies into existence, who counts every star by name, who holds the oceans in the hollow of his hand, that God knows your name. He knows your pain. He knows the number of hairs on your head, and he has been whispering to you through every trial, every loss, every sleepless night. I'm with you. I've always been with you, and I'm not going anywhere. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, in this moment, close your eyes, take one breath, and just let that sink in. Let the silence do what silence does when God is in it. You're going to be okay, not because life will be easy, but because he is with you, and that has always been enough. It will always be enough. Now, if this message touched something in you, I'm asking you to do 3 things. First, subscribe to this channel, not because it helps me, because it helps you. It keeps you connected to daily reminders that God is speaking, that you're not alone, that there's always hope. Hit that button. Stay close. Second, share this video with 5 people. 5 people who need to hear what you just heard. You know who they are. The friend who's been quiet lately. The family member who's been struggling. The person at church who smiles, but you can see the weight in their eyes. Send it to them, because God might use this exact message to reach them the way it reached you. Third, leave a comment below. Not a generic comment. I want you to be honest. Tell me what hit you hardest in this video. What part made your heart skip? And then tell me, what do you want to hear about next? What are you walking through right now that you need God to speak into? I read every comment, and the next video might be the answer to what you write. Remember those 3 words. Write them somewhere you'll see them tomorrow morning. On your mirror, on your nightstand, in your Bible, in your phone. I'm with you, because he is, and he always will be. I'll see you tomorrow.